everyone doing today? Hello, hello. Welcome to the live broadcast of Turtle WoW News. Do a little pre-show, say hello to people. Onega, Derek, April, Lizzie Babs. Hello, hello. I'm gonna try this week. My plan is to try to just blitz through the news as best as I can, and then afterwards we'll do Q&A stuff. But make sure to let me know how the sound is. I need to mark for my video recording. 1, 2, 3, and mark. Okay, that will make syncing up the audio a lot easier. Thank you, AI Anarchy. I'm assuming when you say good to go, you mean like my audio is good to go. I hope that's the case, because that would stink if that's not the case. But yeah, we got pretty much, if you want, almost like chapter headers. I'm trying to use the scroll, the news scroll at the bottom, almost like the chapter headers. So if you kind of want to know the things I will be talking about, you can look at that in general on the 4 main sections I do for Turtle WoW News. So you can look at that to kind of have a feel for the stuff I will be talking about. Hey Sonic, how's it going? I put some new AI slop music in there. I haven't heard all of them yet though. But only the live people get to watch me make mistakes and then re-record them and then enjoy the enjoy the live news. I will say there is one thing that I'm going to be talking about today that will actually beat the server reset and is actually valuable to know. When we get there, I think it'll become very obvious what that is. Any PvP news? Actually, Dominar, there is a little bit of PvP news, specifically about BGQs. It was in the changelog. Oh, geez, why is the chat so small? What's going on with the chat? No, not that one. Okay, that's why. Okay, that should be a little bigger. Yeah, and that's true as well, Onega. It's not directly PvP related, but that is about the PvP server. So yes, that is some news. I did just feed him, but Mandalore had to come say hello. Hello, Mandalore. Yeah. Are you gonna interrupt my recording? Yeah, you are. I don't know what he wants. Okay. You know, what I should have is like a little... I'm gonna put a little thing here that will tell people if I'm recording live, so people will know if I'm ignoring them on purpose. Let's just change this. Recording live. Q&A after. Is that centered? Okay, let's see how that looks. A little big, that's okay. Oh, buddy, I just fed you. All right, let me just take care of the cat. I don't know what he needs. I took care of the cat all right. He got closed in a room, which, by the way, is something I commonly do when I have to record. So don't think it's too cruel. It's something I kind of have to do every now and then. Oh, yeah, like a big red dot that says recording. I don't... Hold on, let me just check my assets. I might actually have something in my asset folder. No. Oh well. I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'm going to be reading from a script. So I'm going to try not... I mean, between segments, I might stop for a little bit and address a couple things, but I'm going to try to power through. It'll make my editing job way easier afterwards, and I hope you guys have been enjoying, like, I don't know, some people catch the live stream late. Obviously, people that catch the live stream probably aren't going to want to watch the same thing rehashed, but maybe if you do, or if you caught part of that, I found it pretty nice for the people that don't really care for the live stream, and I think that's fine. Obviously, the editing of the live stream into the news, I think, is valuable, though. And it takes it from like a long stream to like much more concise. So I think there's definitely value in that. Teeth, toes, tooth in the lips. Teeth, toes, tooth in the lips. Pop filter. Are you working? Yeah, how's my gain? Yeah, you look alright. If I want to be loud, I can. I can fix that in post anyway, so. Alright. If the audio's good, then we will start. I'll get started up here. Do I have the, what's it, Control Tab? Yep, and then Control Shift Tab. All right. Okay, we'll start. Get the script right under the camera so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. All right. Welcome to the weekly Turtle WoW news with Vrograg broadcast live. I'm your news anchor orc, Vrograg Fishlayer, here to bring you all the top server news for the week of February 18th, 2025. The suspenders are on, so let's get to it. I'm the orc, and here's the news. And I immediately messed something up. What did I even... Oh, I switched tabs on my notepad. Whoops. And already I have to make an edit. Top news this week, Telebim reached a great milestone of having 1,000 concurrent players online. Official word on this occasion came out from the team on the 16th, noting a max online count of 1,298. While compared to Northernar or some of the SCA servers, this number might seem a trifle, but the Telebim community, as recently as last spring around the AQ Gates event, had at best a mere 300 players online. Slow and steady growth is a sign of healthy player base with continued interest in the community. For Northernar, getting over 1,000 players took multiple years to achieve, happening in 2022 when the server was already 3 years old, and it seems Telebim has done that in half the time. So here's to Telebim, may your battles be bloody and your future prosperous. And on the topic of celebrations, this week the server welcomed in the Season of Love holiday event, a nod to the recent passing of Valentine's Day on the 14th. Players all over Azeroth are encouraged to give gifts to NPCs to let them know that you care about them, and perhaps enjoy some gifts back from them as well. The donation shop also has its seasonal variety of love-themed outfits and pink pets or mounts available as well. Do keep in mind that gifts with timers on them, highly prized by PvE players, are no longer timers of game time played, but real world hours. So, if you have a box of chocolates, make sure to use them before they go bad. In other top news, the Turtle radio team has really been on the move lately. There have been several posts in the forums and Discord about updated programming, new music, skits, and guest DJs coming to the community. Just in the last week, the radio premiered a new song parody called More Than Swords, a play on the classic song by Extreme, More Than Words. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it is available on the Everlook YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. In addition to some new content airing, Turtle WoW featured a first-of-its-kind live DJ program, Pilgrim of the Signal. This live show is hosted by the mysterious DJ Nosferos and promises industrial rhythms and darkwave sounds. Best of all, it actually has a schedule, something that even this news program doesn't get to have on the radio. So, check it out every other Wednesday, at 2300 server time, and make sure to let the radio team know what you think. The radio is a special Turtle WoW feature, and with this kind of special programming, it's going to be better than ever. And finally, in top news, we take a look at updates and teasers for ongoing development projects. Of course, the whole community is waiting with bated breath for the release of Kara 40. And following the release of last week's Changelog, head of PR Acalix actually gave a comment on how things are going with the highly anticipated release. According to the post, everything with Kara 40 is in quality assurance. This means every model, room, and encounter is complete. The focus from the team is to make sure the content release is as bug-free and smooth as possible. He did stop short of any particular time frame, but history has shown that the Turtle team is normally a bit shy with dates, since it generally creates friction from the community when they fail to meet these goals. For now, all we can do is wait in anticipation for Kara 40, but at least it looks like the team is in the final phase before it's released. That is all the time we have for top news this week. Next up, we have Market Watch. Just gonna jump right into Market Watch. I can get rid of this. That's not the right one. By the way, at the end of Market Watch is going to be, like, if you don't pay attention to Market Watch, that's fine. But pay close attention if you do anything with Shellcoin. Trust me on this. I was given permission to share something early, so. Alright. Oh, I forgot to switch that from the radio version. Okay. Welcome to Market Watch for the week of February 18, 2025. I'm your market analyst, Vrograg Fishslayer. All our data is gathered from numbers provided by WowAuctions.net, the industry leader in auction house reports. I throw it all together to make indexes of the various market sectors, as well as the S&P 200, an index of the 200 biggest and most influential commodities in the economy. So let's get to the markets. On Telebim, the Alliance S&P 200 grew 15% to 4 gold 52, while the Horde only grew 2% to 5 gold 9 silver. The last few weeks, the market for the Horde was slightly more inflated than the Alliance side, but with this recent trend, it looks like the Alliance and the Horde markets are growing closer in value to one another again in the short term. But in the last month, the Alliance has been losing steam while the Horde is trending up. Going into late February, it will be interesting to watch how these two markets continue to stabilize, or if the gap will start to grow again. One market sector on the Telebim market to keep an eye on is the Zandalar Index, or the rough cost of Zanzas. Both the Alliance and Horde indexes over the last month have shown growth. The Alliance is up 25% and the Horde has rocketed up 68%. And both have a price point around 10 gold per Zanza. It would seem that this month the Horde market The Horde market saw the inflated price or scarcity on the Alliance side and used arbitrage to make a mint, but both markets indicate there is growing demand for the coins and bijous from Zul'Gurub. With price points like this, there may be renewed interest in ZG farms, so make sure to keep an eye on the market to make some good coin. Over on Nordinar, the S&P 200 has continued very modest growth, only up 1% to 7 gold 45. We've been keeping an eye on this historically low valuation of Nordinar's merged auction house index with some interest, and after a full month, these sub 8 gold valuations are starting to see some very slow yet steady upward indicators. In the last month, the price has essentially remained the same, but the trend line is showing that there is some upward trajectory in the main market index. While the market is low, make use of the coin you have on hand before Kara 40 releases, which no doubt will lead to an influx of market demand and activity. To best illustrate this, before the 1.17.2 patch was released, the market hit a low under 8 gold 50, but as more information and hype released around the end of September, the S&P 200 grew 17%. So with this in mind, when Kara 40 does get announced, we're less likely to have a run-up time to allow the markets to acclimate. Though this is a Nordinar index, the same can be said for Telebim as well. So keep informed as best you can about the new content release timelines and dates when and if they become available. While Zanzas have been growing in value on Telebim, it looks like in the last month the Zandalar index has lost as much as 10% on Nordinar. The recent downturn is noteworthy in that, much like the S&P 200, these are historically low prices for reagents to make Zanzas. In the last year, there were prices as high as 9 gold, which is as much of a far cry from... No, messed that up. I'm gonna redo that. Get some water. While Zanzas have been growing in value on Telebim, it looks like in the last month the Zandalar index has lost as much as 10%. The recent downturn is noteworthy in that, much like the S&P 200, these are historically low prices for reagents to make Zanzas. In the last year, there were prices as high as 9 gold, which is a far cry from the mid 5 gold valuation they have been getting lately. Fortunately, coins and bijous don't have a deposit cost, and those that trade in the Zandalar index have a healthy stock of supply supporting their industry. So if you raid or otherwise want to grab a Zanza for content you plan to do, keep in mind that Zanzas now stack to 20, and buying now could certainly save you some costs before a glut of raiders come back to try Kara 40. Before we wrap up Market Watch, we'll check in on the value of Shellcoin. On Telebim, the price of, as of the writing of the script, is 10 gold, 3 silver, up 11%, and on Nordinar, the price is 24 gold, 27 silver, a gain of a little over 1% in a week. As always, Shellcoin is not a wise investment, but that doesn't stop some of you from hoping Shellcoin goes to the moon. I'll continue to gather information on this on a weekly basis and hope to have some compelling data to share in the future. Oh wait, sorry. This just in? I just received confirmation that as of this next server reset, shell coins are going to be bind on pickup and no longer tradable. This is a way to help combat them being used for RMT practices. With this shakeup coming to the shellcoin system, expect a big change in price in the coming week. That is all we have for Market Watch. I hope you found some of the information here useful. Make sure to use wowauctions.net for all of your own market research. Remember to keep an eye on your coin, otherwise someone else will for you. Now let's check out the community bulletin. By the way, I have no idea what's going to happen to the price of shell coin, but I think making them no longer tradable is going to do something to the price. And my inside sources let me know that is, I was given dispensation to say that publicly, and it should be live with the server reset today. So people who watch got an edge on the competition. I divested myself of all my shell coins before, once I found out about this. I had 10 literally from that shell coin investor guy. I sold them, and I have that gold in escrow to donate to a small or RP guild charter, not charter, the guild base thing. If I find one, I'll donate it right away, and I will make receipts. Let's see. Alright, we got rid of this one. We're good here. And we're going to go over to... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a changelog. I need to get a different keybind for going to the next tab. Because I want to use my left hand. My right hand's blocked by the mic, but my left hand, I want to move, but I don't want to lose it where the spot is in the keybind. Because I need to use that to change slides. Maybe I can use the mouse. Oh, that shows, though. Alright, maybe I won't do that. Alright, next section. Get some water. Here is this week's community bulletin, a posting and celebration of player-made events and goings-on for the week of February 18, 2025. Let's see what the players have been up to. This week marked a big milestone for yours truly. One thing I will share with all you as a way of thanking everyone who has been supportive of my community-oriented news program over the years. On the 13th, I was directly contacted by Torta to log on to Vrograg. While I was nervous that I maybe had pushed one of my stories a little too far and was going to get a dressing down, I was pleasantly surprised to instead be given a 1-of-1 custom title. For now on, Vrograg isn't just the Storm Wielder or the Immortal. Vrograg is now the News Anchor Orc. I am humbled and overjoyed at receiving this kind of recognition. It is a kind of validation for all the work I've done since starting this all the way back in May of 2023, when I first released my first news broadcast. It is a great honor that I feel even more energized to continue doing more of what I've already done before in thanks for this. So from the bottom of my big green orc heart, thank you to the community, the team, and everyone else that has been supportive of this hobby that has gotten very much out of hand. Here's to more news. While we're talking about achievements, I did want to take a quick moment to update the audience about the current progress of the premier hardcore raiding team Hard Chores. On the 15th, this last weekend, the Mortal raiding crew has further pushed their progress in AQ40, now with the ever-deadly Princess Huhuran down. Great job, and we'll continue to keep an eye out for future updates. In the role-playing world, there were plenty of events that happened this last week, and more in the future. The Torn community welcomed back the United Shuhalo tribes, a ecumenical blend of all Torn, no matter their background, as they held a preparation ceremony near Thunder Bluff to gather their numbers on Saturday. Any role players looking to get deeper into their Torn roots should keep an eye out for any more events from this organization. This weekend also saw a big event for the newly formed Gurubashi Empire. I was fortunate enough to attend with a troll character of mine and can say the event was a great success, with nearly a full raid's worth of trolls and other assorted allies who marched through the ruined streets of Zul'Gurub and helped to liberate it from some foul Take two. This weekend also saw a big event for the newly formed Gurubashi Empire. I was fortunate enough to attend with a troll character of mine and can say the event was a great success, with nearly a full raid's worth of trolls and other assorted allies who marched through the ruined streets of Zul'Gurub and helped to liberate it from some foul voodoo. It seems like the Empire is now in a position to start exerting its control over Stranglethorn. Who knows where this next group might strike next? Coming up on the 20th, the Explorers League is set to make an excursion into the wilds of Ashenvale, where the group is making a day trip hike to see some of the most breathtaking sights of the region, as well as notice some of its hidden secrets that the land has to offer. If you're interested, the group will be meeting at the Ashenvale Ashara Bridge at 6 p.m. server time. Make sure to bring your hiking boots. And finally, this weekend will be the monthly Turtle Fair, a perfect beginner-friendly event for role players and veterans alike. This month, the fair will be held just southeast of Astronar in Ashenvale, with its usual showcasing of stories, performances, games, and more. As a special nod to Valentine's Day, this month will include a Love is in the Air fashion contest for those in the mood for romance. So make sure to check it out on the 22nd at 4 p.m. server time. As always, keep an eye on the event channel in the main Turtle WoW Discord to keep track of any events happening near you. Turtle WoW is more than a community. I jumped the gun on that one. Had such good flow too. All right. As always, keep an eye on the event channel in the main Discord to keep track of any events happening near you. Turtle WoW is more than a game, it's a community. So do your part in continuing that legacy by getting involved however you can. Now let's shoot over to the Changelog roundup. I had more mistakes there than I wanted to have. Alright, we're done that one. And now we're just on the changelog. Then we're almost done. Alright, we're there. And we're there. Today, we'll be looking at the changelog from February 11th, which had 10 changes, from class adjustments to bug fixes. Let's check out the most impactful changes with this week's changelog roundup. To those that have not seen or experienced the ferocity of a mongoose, the recent limitation of Hunter's Mongoose Bite ability resetting the auto attack timer did seem a little misplaced. The little guys are quite quick and agile, so the notion of an attack after their namesake, putting a limitation on how quickly they might be able to do anything, didn't seem quite right. Fortunately, after a live demonstration in Feralis, in front of other hunters, it was decided that the auto attack timer restriction should be removed. In related news, if you find a mongoose in Feralis, call the proper authorities. The small mammal is considered quite dangerous and is wanted for attacking many denizens of the forest there. A petition signed from thousands of mobs in Azeroth was finally read before the cruel and sometimes fickle turtle gods. In the petition, the Association for Monsters and Mobs complained that the 1.17.2 patch was giving players a little bit too much power, while the NPCs themselves received no such enhancements. After some deliberation, the petition was taken into advisement, and this week a huge segment ranging from level 10 to 57 received minor buffs to damage and health compared to their previous patch status. Though this measure will make Azeroth a bit more dangerous, it seems the powers that be want it to be this way. Adventurers are advised to be vigilant for any outliers that may have been adjusted out of pocket or potential complacency in the application. Please report any of those to the bug tracker. We'll be following this story as it continues. A long-standing problem for Battleground enthusiasts has been uneven rosters in the various arenas of combat they participate in. The Turtle team has taken the first step in combating one factor of these uneven Battleground queues: ghost queuing. How ghost queuing works is a bit complex, but it did allow for players to purposely use more than one character on either side of the faction war to essentially create unbalanced battlegrounds in their favor. This measure was first rolled out for Telebim, with word that it will be rolled out to Northernars soon. Early reports indicate that uneven battleground issues remain even for Telebim. Perhaps this was the first step towards rectifying the chronic problem, and there are more fixes to come. Only time will tell. And finally, 2 new mounts were added to the server, both massive spiders that players can ride. One of the mounts, the Cave Riding Spider, is obtainable in the donation shop, while the other joins a long list of rare drop chance raid boss mounts in the Plagued Riding Spider from Kel'Thuzad. Although personally I think spiders are pretty great, some arachnophobes in the community have been less than happy with the change. In the past, most players know, or would at least be able to suspect when a spider might be on their screen. But with mounts, it would seem that no place is safe. If that sounds like you or someone you know, take a look for a community-maintained modification for the game called Arachnophobia. Once installed, this custom patch will swap the models of vanilla spiders and the new mounts with that of the much less spider-like shape of a Silithid. Thank you as always to the modding community for helping those that scream and run at the sight of spiders. That completes the Changelog roundup for last week. This week's Changelog may be out soon, so make sure to check it out so you can keep on top of all the latest adjustments coming to Turtle WoW. I've been Vrograg Fish Slayer. Thank you for watching this broadcast. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I air these live broadcasts on Tuesday, 4 p.m. EST, so if you'd like to watch as the news is made, be sure to drop by. Until next time, be good to one another and stay informed, because the deadliest weapon is knowledge. And we done. Just like that. Why did I move my mic? I didn't need to move. Actually, that's actually normally what I do when I finish a recording. Let's go! Yeah, let's stop the recording there. Lovely. I'm not going to drop the mic, it's expensive. So, I do want to be clear. I personally think that change with the shell coin is going to probably tank the price because people that might be using it for RMT know that they can't use it for RMT anymore, so they're probably just going to try to cash in. I don't know. In the back channels, I did advocate that, hey, you should let the community know about this as soon as possible. I understand that if it's being implicated in RMT, I get this move. However, I would advocate for the little guy, the person who just likes grabbing some shell coin and wants it to go to the moon, has no nefarious, purposes behind it. And if you're doing a change this big, I feel like if that's a part of the game you enjoy, you might want some room to at least voice your opinion and maybe allow the people that are very connected to Turtle WoW media to have a chance to go, change their portfolio if need be. That being said, I completely understand not wanting to talk about it too early, but, here we are, probably hours away from server reset, so at least you can use that. The only other scoop I have that I can share, I didn't have space in the script. I felt like some parts of the script were getting a little wordy, and I'm not quite sure how I want to deal with future news, because one of the reasons I do last week's news on the day of the changelog is because, love him or hate him, the Turtle team has a tendency to say they're going to do a thing and then it doesn't get applied to the server, or it does but only halfway through, or they apply a thing and then they have to change it. So I always feel like giving the news like a week to breathe to see actually what happened is usually the smarter move. So when I know about, again, future news, I am a little circumspect. However, the only other scoop that I can share is that Blackstone Isle is getting a bit of a revamp to make the leveling process there for the goblins a little bit smoother. If you have leveled a goblin, you probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, I just say Q&A. There it is. I'm gonna get a Turtle WoW forum page up and Turtle WoW database page up in case we need to reference anything or look into anything. Oh, wait a minute. The forum, am I logged in on the forums? I'm not. Okay, good. Let's make sure it's not out yet. Oh, it is out. Hey, all right. We can jump right in. All right, let me see if there's any questions first. Sorry, hopefully you guys didn't mind that style of doing things. I feel like it'll make my editing a little bit smoother, and I can kind of throw out all the news stories, and then, I don't mind you guys writing questions and stuff. I'm gonna go back and look if there's anything here. Oh, really? Sorry, AI Anarchy. That's very nice what you wrote. They say that the news itself was a concept that kept me on the server. I've only ever seen something like that in EVE. EVE also has some very dedicated players over there. I learned a lot from, was it Frederick Kunston did like a documentary. If anyone doesn't know anything about EVE, look up Down the Rabbit Hole Eve. It's a epically long documentary about the whole history of Eve and its community. Very fascinating stuff. And obviously, if you're playing this game, if you're playing Turtle WoW, you probably care a little bit about MMOs. And I do know they have some very dedicated community people over there. And Derek, I mean, Derek says, does this mean I need to hurry my ass down to Booty Bay and buy up a lot before you announce something? I don't want to influence what will happen with Shellcoin. We'll see what happens. What is the RP guild? RP is a lot of fun, especially if everyone is chill. I don't know which one you're asking about, Onega. Congrats on the title. Thank you. Thank you. Onega encouraging everyone to like the stream. You should do that. I'm not like one of those guys that's going to be like, oh, hey, everyone. Like, before I even do the content telling people to like the stream, I can't bring myself to do that because it annoys me. So why would I do that, you know? But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you also like the streams, like the stuff. And if you're watching on Twitch, I'm affiliate, so if you have Prime, you can drop those, or you can do a sub if you got it like that. You know, this is mostly a hobby. It's not a living, so I don't need the money, but I appreciate it. All right. Oh, Haxer, hello, Haxer. Blackstone is the infinite copper run. I didn't know that about Blackstone Isle. All right, let's check over on Twitch. Sonic, I'm glad you woke up just for the news. Mr. Rosh, hello. Turtle should slow down with new content and just fix bugs, work on the CC2 complete with no power creep, and then they'll be more welcome to taking new stuff. So Rao Kangren says this, and I have to say, I'm a little surprised that there hasn't been more incremental changes. The entire conceit of having the launcher makes patching a lot more easy. So I've been surprised that they haven't been able to push out more patch updates, because it seems like they're going back to their old business as usual of like just throwing more stuff into a patch and then waiting for it to release. There are things that I both remember and don't remember that are going to be in the Kara 40 patch that are things that players would more or less want now, but they're waiting for the Kara 40 patch to bring it out. I'm like, you guys have the launcher. You could do the small patch. You could give players stuff now. I don't know why they don't do this, but I'm not management. I don't understand. I only roughly understand the complexity and madness that is pushing out patches, especially when you have multiple realms you have to deal with. It is difficult, I get that, but I thought a lot of the groundwork was done with the launcher, so I don't know. Hey viewers, call to act. I've heard that term. Is the term call to action, does that just mean ask viewers to do things? Call to action is such, it just sounds like corpo speak to me. It just makes me sick. It's like saying synergize. Let's see. Are there plans on sub-rogue changes? I wouldn't know, Daweed. Daweed, I'd be interested to know also your experience with it. I've done some rough testing on it. Let me see if I can pull up a let me pull up a talent calc here. Okay, it'll be right here. Let's go over to Rogue. So, for those people that don't care about Rogueshire, I'm about to do a little bit of a deep dive, but this is something I think is really fascinating, and worth talking about, in my opinion. We got serrated blades, grab elusiveness, hemorrhage. This is sort of up to where your group's at. Ghostly Strike's good if you really want the dodge for your group. Smoke Bomb, by the way, works both ways, so don't get it twisted. Creates a thick cloud of smoke in an 8-yard radius around you for 8 seconds. All targets inside the smoke have a 20% reduced chance to be hit by attacks and spells for the duration. If you get some of your guys in that, they will also have it. So you have to be very precise with targeting it. This could be very useful though. And initiative is really helpful if you're in a position where you're doing IEA and you can open up with a garrote to get a bunch of combo points really early. Blinding Haze is pretty interesting. This is something that just debuffs things that are hitting tanks. You can also go for Irritating Agent as well. Either one, or I think they're both good. Improved Sap doesn't see much in raiding because there's like nothing to sap, but you can do this if you're doing dungeons. It's actually pretty useful in dungeons. So first thing I want to talk about with Subtlety Rogues is Hemorrhage is just better now. It doesn't do a flat damage value. It does a percentage value. So that's scaling. You can see if you get into Bloody Mess, it increases the scaling by even more. So it's by 100%, and 100% of 2 is targets that get the hemorrhage buff when you hit them in melee will get 4% extra damage. That scaling does actually really help. Dust of Disappearance is very weird. You can, with some communication, Dust of Disappearance for like a warrior during their execute phase, well, they could really pop off with this. So, actually surprisingly good. You'd want prep, and we'll get to why later. And here you could do this if you want. I would probably just get 3 here rather than this. I don't think that's that valuable, but Tricks of the Trade. This is the important bread and butter thing. I've tested this a lot. It's very, very difficult to keep it up all the time because it only lasts 10 seconds. And if you're a rogue, you know that doing a combo finisher every 10 seconds is very tight timing. You're probably going to miss one. So you can't always keep up a 4% crit, but 4% crit for a group, 4% crit for a group is really good. If you're with warriors, if you're with shaman, the scaling on their crit works well with this, and it works in this other thing, Honor Among Thieves. Physical crits in the group you're in give you energy, which you need to try to keep this up as much as possible. And then there's Exploit Vulnerability. 135 extra damage. Now, when you go this deep, you're not getting far in combat. You are essentially crippling your own damage to make 4 people in like a pumper group ideally, or maybe like if you're progressing, you might want a tank to have more mitigation. You're just wasting, wasting is a hard word, but this is sort of where I'm at with, I'm trying to learn more about this subtlety buff spec. You can very easily go to get improved exposed armor, so you can be like a full out buffing rogue. You do IEA, you get slice and dice, you just lather, rinse, repeat, and you use some of these other things to buff your allies. If you go combat, you can't get that deep. You can at least get maybe Blade Flurry, but you're not going to get weapon skill. So the damage loss is pretty substantial. I think this would be a position where, in the right group, a subtlety buffing rogue could be very good. I think it's more valuable for like a progression guild, like speedrunners, people that are clearing stuff quickly. the longer a fight is, the better a subtlety buffing rogue is. So keep that in mind. Changing this, and that this is just a PvE perspective. I don't really know the PvP side of it, but I think something could be done here. I'm not sure what you could do, but I will say I've played it. It's almost like old enhancement shaman. You know your damage is going to be bad, but by twisting, like the old twisting, you make the damage of everyone else in your group a lot better. So this is pretty close to what we have as like a utility buffing rogue. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's quite the thing that every rogue wants to do, but I think this idea could be refined a little bit, I think is the best way of putting it. All right, let's see. I'm sorry, I got mad distracted by, I don't even remember who asked the question. Someone said something about like, are they going to change? Oh yeah, Daweed, I hope that answers your question. I don't know if they're planning anything, but I think the rogue community needs to learn more about this use case before throwing the baby out with the bathwater. As I reckon this might actually have some good uses. That's just how I feel. Let's see. Daily Groove says, always watch on YouTube. Twitch's aids for free speech. Love your working for it. I don't know about the difference between them. I know YouTube, the reason I like YouTube is because, one, it would seem more Europeans watch streaming through YouTube. I don't know why that is. Twitch seems more like a Korean and American thing. I don't know why, but it just is. So, but I like doing both because people like watching the different systems. I would say Twitch has a much better monetization program, but you can probably be discovered a lot more easily on YouTube. So I don't know. I think if I was trying to make a career out of this, I would probably I think I'd probably go Twitch, but I'm not really doing that. So yeah. Let's see here. Free traveler tents might be fixed. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'll get to the actual changelog here. I'm just catching up with everything. Oh, Legolas. Hello. The Legolas. All right. Okay, the changelog. This was posted. The time's always relative on these. I don't quite know. So, 8:52 server time. So about an hour ago. This is posted about an hour ago, I think. Let's check it out. Fixed an issue preventing player. Let me. I can read it here. Fixed an issue preventing players from training with rogue trainer L'Oreal unless all quests on NPC were completed. All right. Vrograg the Dervish should no longer be summoned multiple times at once. Old heads of the server would remember Vrograg would just like refuse to be summoned. I don't know what was up with him. I don't know if a paladin enjoyer can translate this for me. Damage transferred from Hand of Sacrifice is now reduced by Blessing of Sanctuary. I don't know if this matters much, but paladins, let me know. Fixed an issue preventing players from deleting Jordan's refined ore shipment. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait, why did I do that? No, don't do that. Oh, sorry. I hit the question mark on my voice meter. Sorry about the flashbang. There we go. I don't know anything about that. Jordan's? I don't even know if it's on the test of righteousness. Oh, this is how you get Varrigan's Fist. So, paladins probably care about this. 2 paladin things, all right. Celibate good times buff is now removed upon entering raids. Is that? No, that's the party time's a different one. What is celebrate good times? Is that in the celebrate good? Who does this? Is it on Wowhead? I think it might be. Comments? You have to dance with a targeted reveler for like 10 seconds to get... Oh, so this is for the... This is for the Lunar Festival, which is over. But that means next year this is going to be fixed. Oh, why would they need it removed, though? Is it because it's... Oh, dear me. Oh, okay. You guys can't read this, but it says... Yeah, I understand now. It's a... So, mod stat percentage. This increases all your stats by 10%. People were using this as a ghetto world buff, I think. I see what they did. Okay. Derek Farmer says they need to reduce the difficulty of the mana worms in the Thalassian Highlands. So, I do not know timelines on any of this. Okay. I just know that the Blackstone Island difficulty curve smoothing is happening first, but I believe there are things in the works to also fix some of those issues for the High Elf starting area as well. I don't know when. I don't know what they're doing exactly. I don't think they want me to say all those things, but I'm just letting you know that the Blacks... I saw the changelog stuff for Blackstone. I know that's coming soon. And I did ask, like, hey, is this something in the works for High Elves too? And I got an affirmative on that, so... That'll be nice, because there are, honestly, a lot of players who have never played WoW ever, who have played on Turtle WoW. And if you played a Goblin or a High Elf, some of those things you might be like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, not all of us are experienced veterans. Fix the gossip option for where is Elder Snowcrown. All right, this is, again, a fix for next year. Fixed mobs inside Dustwind Cave being unable to move. Dustwind Cave? I don't know if I'll be able to find this. Dustwind. It's probably involved in this. It sounds like something in Duratar. I haven't experienced that, but I would believe it happens. If anyone remembered, I think it's still a problem too. Ogres in the courtyard of Dire Maul have like done this thing where the melee ones you can aggro and they'll just stand there and do nothing. If you fight them in melee, they'll still fight you, but if you're like ranged, they'll just evade out. So maybe that's something related. Fixed an issue preventing guild homes from being set at Joalar Solar? Is that a name? I mean it's a name. Joalar Solar. I don't think we're gonna be able to find where that is. Well, they exist. They're on a map. This is probably someone's guild base that had an innkeeper. Players who die inside the Gurubashi arena will now be revived at the nearby spirit healer. Oh yeah, so if I think about, I don't know if I have a good map for it, but I do know if you're Horde and you die in STV, I don't know if this is the same thing for Alliance, but you get sent up to the graveyard north of Nestingwary's camp, which isn't the best. So, yeah. And there it is. You see, I had the scoop, guys. I had the scoop. Okay. Fix traveler tents appearing in the wrong tab. I don't see fishing boats here. I can kind of show off what I'm talking about here. Obviously, I don't know if the server resets happened yet. I'm thinking maybe fishing boats might have been forgotten about, or maybe it's not noted. I don't know which one's which. Let me, video options, maximized. All right, you're back to windowed mode. Okay. Here is my Turtle WoW instance. I'm going to pull up survival. So, Traveler's Tent still here. Boat is gone? But Traveler Tent's still here. Now, I know for a fact Vrograg knows how to make boats. See? Now, up until recently, I've been able to put down boats, too. So, they got rid of that? Oh, no, nope, there it is. There it is. So, just to show everyone, I don't have all the reagents needed for a fishing boat. Do I have the... See, this isn't enough wood. This is only 7 wood. So, what's been happening is this. Same thing with the tents. So I just made a fishing boat without the requisite materials, which is awesome if you're like me and enjoy fishing. But isn't the way I think they want the game to be played. So anyway, I had to show that off. Okay. So, traveler tents, seem to, they are going to fix it, but I don't know what's going to happen with the boats. Fix love tokens not being consumed when talking to civilians or in love is in the air. I haven't been keeping track, but I did hear that from some people. So maybe that is the case. I thought they were getting consumed, but I talked to a lot of NPCs. I think I did like it on Obamswin a little bit, and I was like, oh, I still have some left over, and I thought I would be out, so maybe it's not every NPC. I don't know. Icicles can now trigger Master of Elements, restoring 246 of Icicle's base mana cost per missile, up to a total of 10, 20, 30. Let's see here. By the way, I still believe that they need to rename this. as someone who has a mage who does raiding and an elemental shaman that does raiding, mages are not masters of the elements. They are pretenders. Shamans were born in the elements, molded by it. Mages merely adopted it. Calling themselves masters. You know what? No, actually, it makes more sense now that I think about it, because, yeah, mages would be cocky enough to be like, yeah, we're masters of the elements. No big deal. Yeah, we only do 2 of them, but you call yourself masters? You can't even do nature. Get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry. So, this says, so if you do something like a flame strike and you crit, you would get up to 30% of the flame strike value. And according to this, so I think icicles is like, oh, I think it says here too, doesn't it? Where is icicles? I think it's 5 shots. It could be. That I think that makes sense. Yeah, because 5 divided by 30 is 6. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. So each one has a chance to crit, right? However, I'm pretty sure this has a cooldown. Like you can't. Yeah, a 9 millisecond cooldown. So if you're using, so to mages, what this means, practically speaking, is if you're doing icicles, normal icicles that happen over 5 seconds, you could get multiple procs of Master of Elements. If you do the super quick version of it, which you get from Flash Freeze, this one, it makes them come out really quick. You're probably not going to get all the Master of Elements procs that, even if you crit multiple times. So just keep in mind that. Reduced Oro Sandblast radius to 40 yards. What was it before? I thought it was 40 yards. Interesting. Yep, and here, as I did hint at, the Blackstone Island adjustments are in. Most of these, because I did review these before they actually were released, most of them look like smoothing the difficulty curve. Nothing too crazy. I like it. There hopefully will be similar fixes to the High Elf area. I think the High Elf area is probably a little bit more easy than the Goblin one. I say that based on anecdotal evidence from other people I've heard talk about the 2 starting areas that have both done them. There are definitely difficulty spikes in the High Elf one, but there's a lot more of them in the Goblin starting area, so I mean, alright. This is good. And that's it. Jared MS, is there patch note class changes or something? Just go. Okay, Jared, you just got here, but like from when? There are several forum posts with all the class changes. You might want to start there. I would also suggest looking up the talent calculator that's available. That has the updated trees, so you can kind of visualize some of the changes. Most of the changes that have happened, many of them are talent derived. There are some new abilities and spells. Some are able to be learned at lower level, etc. So, but yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to cover. Recent. I mean, most of the recent stuff has just been kind of tuning some things. Like in the last month, there hasn't been anything too drastic. If memory serves, I think they did something with paladins that pissed off somebody, but I would say at this point, most of the fine-tuning with class changes is pretty close to done, if not done completely. That's just my vibe on it. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, in the first month, there was a ton of them. Like, paladins getting, like, redonkulous amounts of threat with exorcism on pull. That had to be toned down. I remember there was the warlocks were like imploding and peeing themselves and were like a puddle of frustration because improved Shadow Bolt didn't do what they wanted it to do. Okay, all right. So Jared, that's true. They are doing class changes before they release Kara. And so I think there's sort of like almost like a schedule of things. So the idea was to release class changes and then do slow incremental changes, but we're pretty far out from when class changes first happened. So the changes we're getting now have been very minor is probably the way I would put it. You would be pissed if your Electrify wouldn't work as well? I mean, Electrify went from 5 stacks to 2 to get full effect. I wasn't a big fan of it, but Shaman elemental damage is an okay spot, so it's like, eh. The changes were too much, too fast. I mean, yeah, that's true. So, I agree with that. There was a lot, and I get the desire to change things, but I think your sentiment is also correct because, by and large, people have really gotten used to how these classes work for like years and years and years, and when you throw as many changes as they did, it's just overall disruptive. And I think as a community we got through it, but I don't think it was too bad though. Maybe I mean, trying to think, like, so from my perspective, right, the classes that I enjoy and play, I have 60s of. I have a rogue, a mage, and an elemental shaman. I've been able to do stuff with shaman I've never been able to do before, which is really cool. In my mage, I have 3 specs that are all fire's not very different, but frost is vastly different, and arcane is really different. That's been really fun to explore and try out. And even with rogue, so like, let's see a rogue here. Rogue, you still have your bread and butter like combat spec. You get adrenaline rush, right? But they change how blade flurry works, so it happens more quickly, or the cooldown comes off, which is nice. But there's also other viable specs that are really fun. I know there's a whole Sealed Fate build that isn't as bad as it used to be, and you get combo points for days, and you can use it with Vigor and like this Venom build that's decent damage. I don't know if it might be like close to the damage of combat. I don't know if it's quite there. And I was talking about the subtlety rogue stuff. So like, I've had stuff to explore and try out, and I think it's been pretty fun. I do know that not every class, or maybe the best way of putting it is some people like playing a certain way, and some of those ways of playing didn't continue. And I understand that perspective where it's like, well, I like playing like this, and now that's gone. I experienced that with rogue tanking. I really liked rogue tanking. I didn't like how it was implemented, but I liked the concept of it. And then they got rid of it. I was really bummed too. And you know what I did? I stopped playing Vrograg. I started playing my shaman. You know, it is what it is. This is part and parcel of having a living game. So I feel you. I think a lot of the changes, it was a shock, but Well, and Haxer, I can speak for what I said in class channels in the class council, and what I will say is that I was bummed that rogue tanking, there really wasn't a spot for it. That's fine, because I was happy that subtlety and assassination got something. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, it's sort of like in a negotiation, right? You're like, okay, I'm not happy, but I think like what we came to, I think overall is better for the community. So I'm like, I'm fine with that. Also, rogue tanking, not really doable, but if you want to solo elites, you do something like this. Boom. Whatever weapon of your choice. I just personally do swords. If you're soloing, not required that you take this. If you're soloing elites, you may not need precision because it's going to be something that's going to be at your level or lower, likely. So you don't need a ton of hit. So you could take this. You could take this to solo elites. But this right here, you get 5 dodge, 5 parry, you have riposte, you have setup, which is huge because you're probably stacking agi to get a bunch of dodge. So you're going to be dodging a lot. If you want, you could go for... I don't think there's like an evasion cooldown improvement anymore, but it's okay. And you can do stuff with this. You don't need to go... Ghostly Strike is now baseline, so you don't need to go into subtlety for that either. So all the tanking stuff that you want is here. It's here. You just do combat, you're all right. You can go... You want... No matter what, you're going to want at least this. Like, this is a minimum because this helps flourish too. And you're going to be wanting to use it as much as you can. And then you have, 13 points left to play with? Have fun. Can you do dungeons? Probably not, because your threat's going to be bad. And your mitigation, if you're doing dungeons and gearing up, is probably not the best. If you're like a Nax geared raider like Vrograg is, you probably have some spare gear. You could probably do tanking dungeons, but you're going to need the DPS to be a lot weaker than you. So, I could still do rogue tanking, but it's not the best. Yeah, Lizzie Babs, rogues still have threat poison. They do. One note about it, for like the 5 people that actually care about rogue threat poison. So the threat it gives is a flat static amount. So if you get vile poison, it doesn't increase the threat. So you just want improved poisons to get more chances to have it proc if you want to go in that direction. Well, yeah, Haxer, exactly. From my experience doing rogue tanking, sure you can do, like, you do pretty good with physical, but the second there's a guy with a spell, you have nothing. You have nothing to do. Like, you're just going to get slapped with a spell and you're going to die. So I think there's tons of interesting, fun, fascinating ways you could try to do this. You know, don't make Flourish a flat parry buff. Just make it like a mitigation buff. Okay, there you go. But, yeah. A tank with stagger would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, a stunning tank is really interesting too. One who can regularly interrupt if they need to. Rogues are supposed to have several weapons, all with different poisons, obviously. I could see that. The rogues are weird because they have like professions that only they get, which is poisons, and in this version of the game, they also get disguises, which is like another profession. Yeah, Haxer, like you could either apply a debuff that makes you take less damage, or you can have a finisher that makes you have mitigation. Because if you even if you're just doing dungeon tanking, you need a way to deal with spell damage. And also, you don't really have anything. You don't have any AoE. And every tank, I mean, you could, like, you have Blade Flurry. That's 2 mobs, though. Do you know how many dungeons have more than 2 mobs in a pull? Like, all of them. So it would be pretty tough. Again, like, Vrograg had Thunder Fury. So, like, he could do stuff that rogue tanking couldn't normally do. But, you know. It took... I think that was the biggest bummer for me, was that I put in all that work to get all that gear so I could do things to do rogue tanking. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to pull the plug. I'm like, oh, man. And that aggro poison would work very well if rogue was required to dance with a caster mob, for example, kick, gouge, kidney shot. Yeah, no, actually, Raukangren, I'm not joking. Like, even when I was like gearing up, even when I was just doing dungeons, you know, if you've ever played a rogue and, you know, you do a dungeon, there's always like one caster mob who stays out in the back, right? And then the tank gathers all of like the melee guys. If you've played rogue, you've definitely at least felt the drive to go sneak up to that caster mob, cheap shot them, and then completely invalidate them. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm not doing the cleave stuff. That's fine, whatever. You know what I am doing? I took out that caster. Casters, at least the PvE casters, they are invalidated by rogues. So I think there's a world where, you know, you can do stuff with that, but kind of like a bread and butter tank, I don't, currently they can't do a lot of content. Yeah, Raukangren, I don't disagree with that. Much of my conceit of where I thought rogue tanking should be was in like the concept of a dashing swordsman, like a swashbuckler. And I don't mean they should have bucklers. I just mean you have a guy who's like charismatic, who says stuff, who can actually like taunt the mob, you know, kind of like that archetype of person who, okay, yeah, he isn't wearing heavy armor, but he's really good at dodging stuff. And like, you know, he does the sword play thing, you know, it would work from like a lore perspective. And like, that was kind of my concept that I wanted to see going forward. Sorry, a lot of people just typed all at once. I don't know if there was like a hiccup. Poison bombs. Yeah, that could work. So here's an idea too. If you have like a spec or a way of doing rogue tanking, have it require that your offhand is empty. Now, again, I think shields is not the play, but that would make you more like a dashing swordsman. Just one sword. Just go for it, you know? You'll do less damage, but maybe it would do something like give you like a threat buff, right? And there you go. Most rogues are going to use 2 weapons because it's just more damage, right? And I think that'd be a pretty nice way of sort of signaling that, hey, like, I can do off tanking, you know? Yeah, no, you're right, Haxer. I'm just out here throwing ideas on the wall. If there's one thing I can do, it's I can throw ideas at a wall. I am actually hurt that I don't have access to the ideas and proposal channel in the dev Discord. Like, oh, I could just write things there all day. Another good change would be feint, give a chance to drop combat for 3 seconds, if not being hit or hitting something somewhere deep in subtlety. Yeah, that gets into the whole shadow dance thing, or like not Cloak of Shadows, but being able to do multiple finishers or multiple openers is sort of a gameplay style that I think many rogues from other versions of the game really like. But I don't know. It's not very vanilla, but it's not a bad idea either. I did throw out Electrify. I did not say, hey, we should get... Hold on, wait. Yes, technically Electrify was my idea, but I didn't have the idea to get rid of the crit bonus to all the other shocks. That was not my idea, but I like the idea of like, okay, I'm sure Horde people, I want you to hear me. I'm trying to be fair. Remember, Paladin bad, okay? Alliance people, Shaman bad, right? If all they have to do is click this button that guarantees a crit, and then they throw a Chain Lightning out, followed by a Lightning Bolt, or vice versa, something's gonna die, right? And that's because of, I don't have the original, but it's because they get this massive crit bonus, right? That crit bonus is what was allowing Shaman to just one-shot stuff all the time. I think it is part of the design that they should have strong burst damage. My concept is that like just pare it down like a little bit. Like make them have to do something to get that damage up. That's all. From a PvP perspective, not many people were really thrilled about that change. From a threat perspective, it was good. There are many silent progressing elemental shaman who are now not pulling threat that are happy because of it. Oh no, that's Haxer. That's true. That's absolutely true. I will say though, there is nothing quite like clicking this button and then doing a Chain Lightning and knowing that every single one of the hits are going to crit. I don't, this is a, hold on. This is a deprecated version. This isn't updated. I could, sign on to a bomb swing. I can better show off the talent tree differences, because although this talent calc's useful for like showing some stuff, I don't think it's been updated or fully updated. So, all right, okay, here we are. So, see, it's 2 stacks. You only need 2 stacks to get the full effect nowadays. And let me, what do I have? I'll go over to the target dummies. I'm pretty sure you do not get multiple stacks if you hit multiple things with Chain Lightning. The talents on the official site. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Sorry, I think like my browser just has saved that old version. But I want to make sure this is not the case. I think currently, I can't speak for enhancement DPS, but I can speak for elemental and enhancement tanking. They are very much locked to the fact that 2.5 is just still super strong. You have to use some amount of 2.5. Let's see, will this reach? Oh, I can't get 2 things. Dang it. All right. Experiment over. But I think that's really like currently one of my only real gripes with elemental. If I do my, I'm in healing. Oh. So the thing that I need, the thing a most elemental shaman need, there is ways to not need this, but technically you would need the Tunnel Fiend Carapace, I think Mish, or the head off of Cthulhu. You need both of those items to have enough damage or crit to overcome how good the 3-set bonus is here, which is you get 50 nature damage, and it procs enough that it's up about 50% of the time. So you need to overcome that really, really strong buff. Also, the 5-set bonus makes your Chain Lightning bounce a 4th time. So if you're doing trash, you have to use it because Chain Lightning go burr. Affliction, Dispel, Protection for Warlocks, please. Oh, Haxer, can you DM me in Discord that link? Because I bet you the thing didn't let you. You know, Haxer, I'm glad you said Plains Running is such a cool ability. I have it on good authority that some time ago, the team said they would give us horseshoes, cow shoes, what have you. If I were to line up right next to a person on an epic mount with no speed enhancements, they're about 5% quicker than you. And carrot on a stick doesn't help. None of the mount stuff aids your speed. It is really cool. I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. But it is kind of funny that it's like you have to pay epic riding level of money to get epic plains riding, but you don't go epic speed. Haxer, the amount of that is the curse, is that I remember all the quirky weird stuff. And then I come in and everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Akalix knows. Akalix knows. I would love cow shoes. Ooh, Sonic, I saw your DM, by the way. I'm very interested. Listen, that is WoW related. Sonic says he's going to be working on a rewrite of the Market Watch scripts. Very excited. Okay, let's just zoom out a little bit. Okay, yeah, this is updated. Yep, stacks 2 times. There it is. Too bad. You know what? Multiple shamans in the class channel, in the class council, did want shamans to get lava walking, but to be perfectly honest, it's kind of a limited use case. It's not that it's bad. I had a lot of ideas, and at a certain point, the powers that be were like, okay, Vrograg, you have a lot of ideas, but we're trying to fix stuff, not make new problems. I'm like, come on, lava walking, it'd be great. Rao Kangren, I have experimented with some voice changers. How, there's not a good way to do it. So if I have some voice changer things that I've used, but nothing I've experimented with has gotten to an orc voice that I have been happy with. Even if I had a voice changer, I would still have to alter how I speak as well to actually make it work. And I talk a lot. I would grow really tired if I had to keep talking like this all the time. Now, that's not like what I think is a good orc voice, right? But to do it, I have to like lower my jaw. I have to like press my glottis against the back of my neck to make it sound like that. Anyone who's watched my streams, you guys know how much I talk. Do you think I could not keep that up? And a voice changer could make my voice deeper. It could give it a bit more graveliness, but unless I'm like also doing the other things, like the sort of intangibles that make a voice sound like something, then it's not going to work. So if anyone has any experience with like voice changers or like knowing about doing voice acting, so, you know, if you, like for me, like if I want to sound like a woman, it's not as easy as just throwing the pitch up. You have to do different things with your mouth, and even the way you verbalize words to actually sound more like a more feminine, essentially. So it's not as easy as it seems. I have looked into it. I think I'd be much better off just literally getting enough green face paint and just cosplaying as Vrograg and just accepting that this is my voice. Mr. Rosh, I have tried some. They're not there. It's the same problem still. Thank you, so. Give real orc voice instead of peon voice. Yeah, I mean, listen, anyone who likes orcs, how could you not want to sound like Thrall? Welcome to Ogremar. Have you come to serve the Horde? It's like, I mean, yeah, I would like to.
Unfortunately, the only good voice I can do is Gnome. I don't know what to tell you guys. Even this voice, I can't do forever. It would eventually kill me.
But yeah, Bandit, exactly. I've described myself as a woman in the past online in order to infiltrate a corporation on EVE Online. See, Bandit, you get it. Yeah. It's not... I've been in your shoes too. Like if anyone's thinking about like, oh, it can't be that hard. It's like, it is. It really is. Also, with the voice actor talents that I get to rub shoulders with in the radio team, I feel weird about using AI voice changers. I do. Best orc voice is Runthak. Yeah. All you need is... well, Lizzie Baba, I know you want me to do Gnome all the time. Of course, why not? Hold on, wait a second. I need to release Mandalore. He's still in the room I closed him in. Okay, he wasn't happy with me. He was not impressed by being locked in the room. There was a guy streaming Turtle WoW a few days ago that was reading quests and doing really good voice acting. Got to get him. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good talent out there. Hold on. Let's see if Mandalore wants to be on camera. I just gave him a treat. Say hello, Mandalore. Okay, I know you don't want to be held. Yeah, they had a... I need to catch one of those live DJ shows. I found out that it was happening like way after it was done. I'm like, God dang it. I think everyone wants the radio to have more live DJ stuff. But I do know that a lot of the complaints of repetitive music getting used again and again has definitely been heard. So, I can only hear that one Goblin song so many times. Also, when I'm streaming, I can't play it because it just YouTube just decides just to lay a big fat demonetization on me. "99 minutes of cat torture?" Listen, he deserved it. I literally came home and I fed him right away, and then he's like, "Oh, you're streaming? Oh, you're streaming? Hey, what you doing? Maybe I'll get some more food if I bother you." He's not slick. Okay, I'm on to his game. Let me see here. I'm gonna sign on to Vrograg. Where is that thing? I actually changed the scene too, so I can actually get on. I want to look a little bit at that subtlety spec. I actually have one saved. Yeah, there are oh, that's right, my boat went away. All right, let me get this big. Okay, and then I could change screen to gameplay. Well, that mostly worked. Oh, that's right. Chat always moves. Oh, I have to do the chat background thing. Expand it. Make it bigger. Make it go up. And then, bam. Privacy. Okay, so that should be working. Priest is strong. Yeah, I Disciplined Priest, the Smite Priest, on release was doing really high competitive levels of damage. And then they changed it so that it didn't do that, which I think is okay. But at least now, if you want to do like a power infusion priest, there's like a much more robust way to do that. And there's also what I would call... Oh wait, this won't work. Top message from your chat history. Oh, priest is strong. Oh, okay. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, yeah, I just see it now. Check this out too. I gave a new add-on a whirl. For someone like me, this is actually pretty useful. Because when you have multiple characters and you forget what specs are what, it's actually pretty useful. So, right here. So this first specialization, this is my solo tank build. This is my sword DPS build. I don't know what 3 is. Oh wait, no, 3 is sub buff. And then this is, I think this is dagger. Combat daggers. And you can give them little colors. Solo tank. Yellow, obviously. Is this the most roguey thing to do? Sword DPS can be, and sub buff, we'll put you blue. Combat dagger will be orange. And then, when you open it up, bam. So that way, if you forget what your spec is, it happens to me all the time, you don't have to have a 10-minute cooldown. You won't forget now. This is called... Goblin Brainwashing Helper. Someone brought it to my attention. I don't remember who, but it's one that I'm using and I like. I think I was gonna try the subtlety buff spec, right? And let me use my guild-based privilege here. Is the sound on? It is. Let me turn down this sound a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. So yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. You know, you like get a finishing move, then you get this buff, and then you have 10 seconds to get another combo point finisher done. I just barely made it. And then you have this nice little buff here. Mark for death. I mean, that looks good. I really want to test this, but I think the groups I run with do stuff too quickly. I need to find like a progressing guild and try it. I do know warriors and enhancement shaman that want to parse have rogues that do this, but Haxer says, yeah, the spec should really have names, but sending and saving the names properly would be hard to implement. Yes. And yet an add-on just does it for you. So the problem is, of course, is that there are like the numbers themselves are a little misleading. So my combat swords and my solo tank build could have identical numbers in assassination and combat. I literally forced them to not have the same number so I could remember which one was which. That's literally what I had to do because I just kept forgetting. And then, you know, you're locked out for 10 minutes. You're like, ah, dang it. Also, if you took the subtlety buffing concept to like its extreme, you could be an orc and have 2 annihilators. So you could be lowering armor, doing IEA and lowering armor, and then buffing your group. There is a world where I could do that with Vrograg. Then absolutely obliterate my damage. Oh, so Lizzie Babs, like, so you understand, like, this is actually pretty useful. I thought warriors might have a similar issue. I wasn't sure, though. I don't think I can solo crap in this spec. I should have done my other spec. I've seen so many people from this Balerian guild. I don't know who they are, but I always seem to see them when I'm online. Yeah, sometimes you just want to wander around and kill stuff. Low key, it's the best way to make gold. I bet you that it's not really a good idea to use Garrote and Rupture. It is funny to watch him lose a bunch of damage, though. Or lose a bunch of life slowly. It's just total overkill. I need to have Eviscerate bound while I'm doing this. Sorry to that, mage. Oh boy, ban evader restricted. Oh, well, he needs to be banned. Don't worry, Sonic, I got that one. Oh, I have to be behind you, that's right. I love the fact that I get to keep my points. Because now you can blind someone without like losing it all. I don't think this spec has Blade Flurry, otherwise I'd be using it. What the heck do I need over there? I need a gold power core for something? I have those. Oh, wait a minute. I know I left Shibiji somewhere cool. I should probably show that off. So I talked about the what do you call it? The can't remember the name of it now. The Gurubashi Empire event, the RP event. And that happened in its entirety in what do you call it? Hold on, let's not dox myself. In the uninstanced version of Zul'Gurub. Hello, Lax. Hold on, let's get back in. Here it is. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. How do I still have the... Oh, let me just take care of this before I forget about it. Saving that Audacity file. There's a good chance I'd forget about it. Sometimes it crashes, and that's bad. So yeah, this is... I'm in Zul'Gurub, but I'm not in the instanced version. You can see it looks slightly different. Is anyone on? No one's nearby. But yes, this is a super fun event. I'm trying to think, is there like a... Oh, wait a minute. I thought of a way of showing this off. I think I'll exit here, and then I'll go over to the news desk. Lovely. Oh, but you did that. Oh, I know why you did that. I can just get rid of that quick. I recorded a bunch of the stuff I did. I recorded the Gurubashi event. Let's see if I can get to some of the highlights. So, wait, that doesn't help. There, that should be good. All right, so we met near Prophet's Rest. We marched out. Take a look at that. A huge caravan of raptors. I have, much to my shame, I learned very late before the event that we were going to mounting up on raptors, and Shibiji didn't have one. She had a turtle and she had like an elk. I never bothered to get a raptor mount, so I used some coins I had laying around to get the ivory raptor. Let's see. We ran into ZG. Let's see if I can show this. So this way up might seem familiar to some people, but do you see how there's like stairs and stuff? The RPGMs left some stuff there to make it like a little, look like it was like on purpose, essentially. This is pretty cool. There was a Fountain de Bois Sandi here. We met up with some shady troll priest. And see, these voodoo gates opened up, which meant we were trapped. and we had to fight a bunch of stuff to escape. Fought this big sucker. That was kind of wild. And then we sort of... We liberated the rest of the camp so we would have somewhere to sleep. And all like these mobs and stuff are things that were set up with the RPGMs. Also, evidently, I guess a bunch of people are suspicious of me. Or of Shibiji. Because she may or may not have the heart of Hakar on her. So. But yeah, that was a good time. Let's see here. I don't think I had anything else. Oh, yeah. Oh, to my #1 fan, Drew. Hi, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope school is doing well for you too. Thank you for watching. B101 has a child who's my #1 fan, evidently. But I'm actually... Yeah, I'm just checking. I don't think I had anything else. I was going to derp around for a little bit, but you know what? I got everything done early. It's great. I can kind of relax a little bit. Maybe I can even make Murag dinner. That would make her happy. No, it won't. I like to believe that it would make her happy. Yeah, so if you missed anything in the live stream, I'll have a live stream highlight, essentially, with the news. I hope to have that posted tomorrow at some point. Hopefully it won't be too bad to edit together. Kind of have like a system now. I'll see everyone after server reset. Make sure to check the changelog. Check it out. If you have any shell coin, be advised they are bind on pickup after the reset. So act accordingly. And yeah, I think that's all I got for now. So until next time, everybody take care of yourself, take care of one another. Keep in mind that when you play games, the idea is to have fun. And as always, remember, the deadliest weapon is knowledge. Bye, guys.